Hello. I think it's about time we jump into the podcast. Hello and welcome to paradise. You are listening to Green Dudes, the only Green Day podcast that matters. You are here with Connor Mack. That is me. I am your host this evening, or whenever the heck you are listening to the show. Because the cool thing with podcasts is you can listen to the show whenever you want. It's a pretty cool modern miracle. I am here with my BFFFFFFFL, my Green Day comrade in arms, um, my dude wife for life, and most recently my partner in not just in love but in business. Mr. Connor Kelly, how the heck are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I got an email from the Oakland Ballers telling me to
Go fuck
look
yourself.
out. No, tell me to look
Oh,
out.
okay. What does that mean?
Connor, given the level of investments that we are in here, we are entitled to a few perks.
Wow.
And when I say we, I guess I technically mean me, like more so me, but like in spirit, like us,
Yeah, of course.
But I should be getting an email within the coming days about receiving like my limited edition Oakland Ballers investor t-shirt or something like
Wow.
really stupid like that. But
That's so cool.
I'll do anything for a t-shirt, so
I know you
they
will. Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
they got my number. I don't know.
Yeah, they do. Hopefully it's cool. Have you seen it?
No, no, I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know what it looks like. Or even if I'll really get one, I'm kind of skeptical, but
Yeah.
uh, we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, my immediate thought was like, oh, it would be cool like if like we got like one free ticket or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if they did that, then I would be like, well, we have to like make a way to we have to find a way to get there and actually go to a game, you know? It would be the dumbest thing in the whole world, but we would have to do it.
it would
Um
be. We do get 10% off tickets. We
Okay, that's pretty
do.
cool.
We do.
That's
That's
pretty
part of our
cool.
perks. So if we
Yeah.
do decide to purchase tickets, we can
Yeah.
purchase them for 10% off.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, we might have to make that happen at some point.
Yeah, we just
I
might.
mean, it would be a good excuse to well, first, I mean, because we are men of business, and so
It's
we're
true.
interested in the business and see we got to make sure it's running properly over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to make sure our money is going to good, our money is going to
Yeah.
good use.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it would be a good it would be a good excuse to like do a little Green Day tour, uh, if we were in the Bay Area. I mean, that's like the craziest idea, but I'm just saying it's like maybe keep it in the back of your mind. Maybe it'll happen at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, but I also got a feeling that it just might happen one of these
Yeah,
days.
it feels. I
So,
don't know. It just kind of feels like something we need to do.
yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that and return to it. Um, yeah, it's that's awfully exciting. Yeah. So I mean, Connor, anything else going on in the last week or so of your life? You've been a little bit busy, I think, with work.
Yeah, I had been busy, and then there's a steep drop off to being completely unbusy because
Yeah.
it's spring break, buddy.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that week leading up to spring break, there was like a lot of stuff I had to get done
Yeah, you're
because
cramming everything in.
yeah, pretty much. And then when we come back from spring break, all the kids they're going to be doing the state tests, so it's like a big deal.
Yeah,
The state
yeah.
exams.
Mhm.
So yes, I was very busy, and since Friday now, I have been unbusy, which
Sweet.
that's why I'm sitting here drinking a golden
Yeah.
monkey at 5:50 p.m. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
in the
Oh
evening or
yeah.
whatever time you're
Hey,
listening to the
it's
podcast.
5 o'clock somewhere, you know?
That's the modern miracle of podcasting,
Yes.
of recording audio. It's like you could just listen to it whenever you want.
Whenever you want. Whenever you want. Like it's wild. Like because we are live. We are broadcasting
Yes.
live. Um but you don't have to listen live. Like back in the day, Connor, and again, our listeners, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna assume they're all Zoomers. They aren't, So I think
Right,
some are
yeah.
even older than us, to be honest.
Yeah, and if
We're
anything, I think we've pushed away the Zoomer crowd. I think we've talked about them enough that I'd actually be
like
amazed if there's even one Zoomer who's
yeah,
like, these guys are pretty funny. I
these
love
guys
the
are
way
pretty
they
cool.
make the same stupid joke over and over again
I love
to
when
my
they talk about
expense.
us. I
Yeah,
love when they talk about people that are younger than them,
yeah.
with zero disdain.
Yeah. So it's fun.
But with those people who may or may not be listening, what they don't know, might not be aware of, is back in the day, like radio shows, which is it's essentially the same thing that we're doing now, is we're talking to microphones for an audience of some sort. Uh, People used to listen to those kinds of shows on the radio, and they were live, and then once you listen to them, once they happened, once you could never listen to them ever again.
It was done.
It
It
was
was
done,
done.
gone,
Yeah.
gone with the winds, gone forever.
Yep.
Um, and so the modern miracle we're referring to is the fact that you can actually record these and play them back at your leisure
At your leisure, exactly. You
nowadays.
know, you know what's funny about that is this past week or so, I've actually kind of been getting back in to listening to radio when I'm
Oh,
driving.
cool.
Because it's no surprise most people, you plug in your phone and you're listening to Spotify, you're listening to Apple Music. That's what I
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
9 times out of 10. But I haven't had like as many albums in rotation, and so like I don't know. I've been exploring the radio waves a bit more around here,
Well,
and
you're putting on your favorite iHeart radio station, hosted by Ryan
no,
Seacrest.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no. I don't have that. I don't have
okay.
access to that.
Well, no, I mean, you do, because they own, like,
No, nope,
well, you do.
nope.
That's
Mm,
regular rate. That's not like a
mm-mm,
Sirius XM. That's
mm-mm.
regular
I don't
radio.
have Connor. I don't have that.
All right.
Whatever you're referring to, I don't have it.
It's just
Okay.
iHeartRadio owns like 90% of the radio stations.
Okay.
So
Well,
you do.
all right. Well, I'm part of the 10% that doesn't get that. It's like I don't know. I don't have it. I don't have it.
All right. Okay.
Anyways,
All right. Yeah.
I've been listening to I think it's like 89.1 around here in the city, and starting at like 4 or 5 o'clock, they start broadcasting from NYU. They do like a college radio show,
Oh, cool.
and you got me thinking about it because they had I think like this local band on for this and they performed a live set,
Nice.
and then they interviewed the band after. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I thought the band was called Crab Alive in the Basement, which I thought was like such a sick band. I was like, Crab Alive in the
Yeah.
Basement? That's an incredible band name.
Yeah.
Incredible band name. Turns out the band is just called Crab, and they just have a section. They have this like part of the radio show called Alive in the
Alive in
Basement.
the basement. Yeah, that makes sense.
So whatever band is playing, it's just blank Alive in the Basement, and they do like this live set.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you guys are listening, change your band name because Crab Alive in the Basement is incredible.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
So I don't know. But
And
anyways, I've been listening to radio, so it's cool.
for SEO purposes, for search engine optimization purposes, the band
Yes,
name Crab Alive in the Basement, that would be a lot easier to search out than just crab. Because
that's true.
if you Google crab, Connor, you just get what? You get pictures of crab, you get
Yeah, just
Sebastian from
crabs.
Little Mermaid, like
Definitely. It's almost all
uh
Sebastian these days, and it's the
almost
live
all
action
Sebastian.
one. It's the
Yes,
live action Sebastian,
it is.
voiced by Shaggy.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Voiced by Shaggy. Is that true?
it is true. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Cool.
No, and
Well, that's
that
pretty
movie
cool.
fucking sucked. But yeah,
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that actually. I saw it, and it was very bad. It was really bad because they did like new songs. Like they
Yeah.
made new songs for the movie.
Yeah.
Um, everyone was like, they're like, oh, it's bad because of the actress that plays the Little Mermaid in it, but she
Right.
was actually pretty darn good for
Yeah.
in my view. It was
Right.
just the fact that they like did new songs and
Yeah.
that the movie doesn't need to exist really.
Right, yeah, and it and it looks like it was made by AI. Like where
Yes,
people
it
keep
does.
saying
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we're only so many years away from the first AI generated movie," and it's like that's true. I'm sure that's
yeah,
true, but it kind of feels like we're already getting AI generated movies in a lot of ways.
absolutely,
It's just that people
absolutely.
are making them still. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's there's gonna be very little difference. Anyways, I mean, that's what I said about that last Avengers movie or whatever. That it felt like it was none of it was real.
Yeah,
That was like fucking 6 years ago or something.
yeah,
I don't know, maybe longer. I don't know. But anyways, enough about all of that crapola. Uh, Connor, it has been a surprisingly exciting week for Green Day, actually.
yeah. No one knew what was going to happen was going to happen. This it's so funny because you'll always tell me all the stuff people are talking about, and
Yeah.
oh, this is getting leaked, and oh, so and so on this message board says that Hillside Dance is gonna, and and
And so
then
that's what they
and then
did. They announced Hillside Dance. They surprise
yeah,
released Hillside Dance this week.
and then it's like, oh my god, and then just like this news just drops. It's just like here it is, and I'm like, where is the Green Day rumor mill when you really need them? They
I
they
know.
all got their heads up their fucking arses. I don't know.
Came out of nowhere.
So it's funny to me.
But I will say I passed on the information to you a few hours prior to the official announcement.
Oh, is that
Um,
right? Okay, so you kind of, you know,
I got the scoop a
you
little
got
bit
the scoop.
earlier.
Okay, you got the scoop.
So what we're talking about here is yes, this past week the band Green Day, subjects of this podcast, they announced a deluxe edition of Saviors. It's really, I mean, not actually a deluxe edition. It's edition deluxe is what it's referred to. Saviors edition deluxe, French. It's fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which I think I don't know why it's fitting, but it does feel fitting. Because Savior's deluxe version is just kind of boring. It's just kind of boring, like
Yeah, they needed to give it a bit more pizzazz.
yeah, it's got to have a bit of pizzazz. And so that was fucking exciting. I didn't expect them to do this for Saviors. I don't think they put out a deluxe version of a record since 21st Century Breakdown. So that's pretty cool. And with the deluxe edition, we get 5 new songs. Smash It Like Belushi, which is essentially the single that was dropped with the announcement here, and we'll talk about it. Fuck Off is a song. Ballyhoo, Underdog, and Stay Young. And then it also has acoustic versions of Susie Chapstick and Father to His Son,
Yeah.
um, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, Connor, I want to get your thoughts on this announcement. Like you said, it was a surprise. Um, did you feel like they were gonna do a deluxe Savers at any point, or
No, but I'm kind of kicking myself after I heard it because I was like, man, that would have been a good bingo card prediction, but you know,
well,
in,
it
it's not what
it
it's
would
not
have
what I
been.
was thinking. Yeah.
I know it does it because one of our listeners did they sent me an updated version of their bingo card,
Nice. Okay.
and Green Day puts out new single was on the so that you can cross off Green Day puts out new single
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the very least.
Yeah. Did we have something like that where it was like, I think actually
That was on there.
Well, I thought you were saying, wait, but you said that was on someone else's, I thought,
No,
not
no, no.
ours.
They're following the one that we made.
Oh, they are updating it on our
They're updating
behalf.
it. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
well, thank you to whoever that mystery person is. We need all the help we can get. Trust me on that, because
We do.
obviously I do not fucking remember this stuff,
Well,
so I need someone to do it for me.
and then the other question they had was because we had Green Day does a surprise warm up show before a festival,
Hmm.
and they're like, does it count? Because the cover ups are doing a surprise show before Coachella. Does that count as the Green Day doing a? I said no. I don't think it. I
No,
don't think it does.
yeah,
It's
I don't think so
not
either.
not quite. But I mean, good, valid question. Absolutely
Right.
valid
Oh
question.
yeah. No, for sure. These are, and it's funny because it's like, we could just sit here and make predictions all day, but when you get down to brass tacks, when you really have to determine if a bingo thing is going to be done or not, these are the questions you got to ask. It's not as easy as it seems. Bingo. It's way more complicated than people give
Yeah,
bingo credit for.
I mean, there's an art to it and a science to it. Um,
Absolutely.
and Connor, you and I, we're not Nostradamuses.
No, Nostradamus for the record.
No, we're not Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Uh, and don't joke or don't say, oh yeah, you're more like Nostradamuses.
Yeah. Right.
I saw that coming a mile away. So just
Yeah.
don't even don't even
You saw that
go
coming. Who are
here.
you? Who are you? Nostradamus?
Yeah,
Nostradamus?
for
How'd
real.
you see that one coming? Anyways, you had asked me, did I see this coming? Did I think there was going to be a Savior's Day Looks edition?
Yeah, edition deluxe.
Yeah. I No, I didn't. And it almost does, like, I don't know, I'm of two minds about it, because it almost does feel like a no-brainer. Once I heard it, I was like, yeah, because Saviors had a really great reception,
It did, yeah, yeah.
and I think there was like really good word of mouth on it. Like it's from what I could tell, just having my feelers out, you know, which mainly means like what YouTube videos are recommended to me based off my search history and shit. Um, I think that there's definitely this opinion, even of some more, pardon the pun, jaded Green Day fans, where this
Yeah,
kind of felt like, hey, this is sort of like the return to form Green Day record we've been waiting for, and we talked about that.
we
That
did.
sort of was part of the Savior's identity, where it's like no gimmicks, no frills, none of it's like, this is just the next Green Day record. And there kind of is this feeling amongst a contingent of the fan base where it's like, man, how long has it been since we've just gotten, quote unquote, the next Green Day record, and so I think it makes a lot of sense that Saviors is sort of getting rolled out, and
Yeah.
it's like, hey, um check this shit out. uh and then also, I don't know, yeah, I just didn't expect it. I guess that's the long and short of it, but it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, totally agreed. I think you're right. I think it's a combination like the deluxe edition phenomena that's it's been like a growing thing. Like they're getting deluxe editions have been getting more popular, like to the point where Linkin Park, they put out their new record like in November, and
Yeah.
they already have a deluxe edition coming out, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, for
I
Saviors, it's at least been over a year.
Right, it's been over a year. I listened to that album, by the way. Did you listen to
Oh, did
that?
you? What? What? No, I listened to the first couple singles, and
Yeah.
I just didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about going.
No. No, no, no.
Not great, you think, or
No, well, it's like, this isn't a Linkin Park podcast, it's a Green Day podcast, so I don't want to get too far off here, but essentially my take is like, um for the most part, it's like so formulaic and bland and it's like I almost wish that it was worse because then it would be more memorable. It's like so perfectly middling and inoffensive
Yeah.
that it almost feels like you might as well have just not have made it because
Yeah.
it doesn't even feel like art. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like an obligation. And I'm like, well, that's I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's I mean kind of like I mentioned I listened to like the first two singles, and the first single I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like it feels like Linkin Park, and that's like crazy to me that it felt like Linkin Park without Chester. And I thought the Emily Armstrong, no relation to Billy Joe
Hmm.
as far as where we're.
That's yeah,
Um
right.
I was like, wow, she really captured the essence pretty well with her vocals and the screaming and stuff. And then I listened to the second song that came out, and I was like, this is I mean, it just kind of feels like there's a formula now
Yeah.
that they are, you know, kind of falling into for every song. And then I did read some people saying the same thing. So
Yeah.
I I lost interest. But
You know,
yeah.
I gotta ask. I gotta push back a little here. I got a thought experiment for
Uh
you here. I got
okay.
something for you to chew on. You know, you're no
Let's do
Nostradamus, but I
let's
want you
chew it
to.
up.
I want because you know I think about this a lot as a host of a Green Day podcast and a lifelong Green Day listener and an appreciator of each and every Green Day album.
Yeah.
Despite what I have alluded to as some critical opinions on some of them, and that's true. But
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
here to tell you right now, I like every Green Day album. Okay, I do. There's something to like about every Green Day album, and I'll tell you that. Okay.
Amen.
Um, but you know, we are very much entrenched within the Green Day fandom, Connor. That's
Yeah, oh
no
yeah. Oh yeah.
surprise.
Oh yeah.
And you know, from the outside looking in, I think that there's many fans who could very easily ascribe the exact same opinion that we're giving to this new Linkin Park album to the latest Green Day album, Saviors. And we, of course, who know so much about Green Day and who have grown alongside them, we would say no. No, you know, you're on the outside looking in. You don't get it the same way. I wonder if we're on the money here about the Linkin Park album, or could it be a case of us just in our own sphere, in our own bubble, and somewhere there's like Lincoln lads or something, where and they're like, yeah, hey, we got a new deluxe version of this fucking album coming out, and hey, look at what Green Day's doing. These old fucking hacks still trying to make it
Yeah.
work, still trying to capture their glory days. What do you think about all that, huh?
I mean, Connor, I think you're right. We are in the eye of the storm here on Green Dudes. Whereas like yes, we've seen criticisms of Saviors even talking about, oh, this is Green Day formulaic. And I mean, it feels like we can point to things in a in a logical and scientific way almost and say, no, they look, they're experimenting here, but I mean, to the general listener, none of that matters. It doesn't matter if it feels like too much of the same from Green Day. That's all they're going to take away from it. I think largely the reception to Saviors, as we mentioned, it's been very, very positive, and does feel like a return to form for some people, uh, which again also we also kind of take issue with. Um,
Hmm.
uh, so I mean, I don't know. I think we're so far away from the general listener mindset that like I mean, it's like almost impossible to penetrate. So like I guarantee you there are the same there are versions of us in the Linkin Park fandom that are saying, "Oh no, well, it's not formulaic because these parts they added there's a key change here and there's like just like things like that." And that's totally fine, but we can't uh, we don't have 20 years of Linkin Park
Right.
adoration the same way
Right.
we do for Green Day. So we can't ever put ourselves in those shoes. But I guarantee you're right.
Yeah.
And that
It's
to the Lincoln lads, they're like fuming,
yes.
or just laughing at us because we're not knowledgeable.
Yeah. And both would be fair, and I
Yeah.
I I really like the way that you put it at the outset there. It's like we're in the eye of the storm. That's what it feels
Oh yeah,
like. And it's a
definitely.
great a great like like allegory or illusion or whatever, because like the eye of the storm, it's a trick, like
Yeah.
it feels calm. and
Yes.
and I,
Yes.
a lot of times the way that we listen to Green Day, it feels like normalcy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just like any other guy. I'm just like your I'm just like a regular fucking guy. But if you are outside of that hurricane and you're looking at it from from the fucking state over or whatever, and you're just
Oh
like
yeah.
that, those guys are fucked.
Yes. Exactly.
And we are in the middle of that. So
Exactly. You look at it, you're like, this is very much not normal.
yeah,
Actually, this
fair
is,
enough. Fair enough.
and yeah, I think that's okay. And again, I mean, we have a fucking Green Day podcast.
Yeah,
We're almost at 80 episodes,
I know.
Connor, which
I
is
know.
insane.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
It's a lot, and we're not even like halfway done. We're not.
No.
We're still like in the beginning ish stages
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I think it's. I've always felt like it's okay to not be normal about things, about certain things. Like it's okay to love things a little bit too much. Um, and for the Lincoln lads, more power to you. More
Yeah,
power to
no,
you.
it's exactly, we
If you want to come on the podcast, we can talk. We can do a Green Day Lincoln Park mashup episode. That would be fucking fun.
yeah.
Let's go for it. But Lincoln Park to me is a band that I've always like appreciated their singles, and I even like Meteora or Hybrid Theory. I know you probably have listened to those a good bit, but
I have.
I don't think I don't know if I've ever listened to those in full. So I'm just kind of a singles guy.
Oh, yeah. No, I do. My Linkin Park love does go a little deeper there, and honestly, I've always kind of considered it almost like a consequence of my true love for Incubus.
Oh
And
yes, yeah,
so in terms of like that kind of like early 2000s new metal sort of wave,
yeah.
that very commonly gets lambasted and totally flat, because whenever people hear new metal, they're like, "Oh, Limp Bizkit, fuck
I
you.
know.
You
Yeah,
don't know what the fuck you're talking about, all right?"
yeah.
I was there. I'm not even making a Green Day reference. I was there. I was in the fucking trenches, all right? So anyways, we should talk about Green Day.
We should get back to Green
We
Day.
should
Yeah.
talk about Green Day before I get worked up and I start talking about Incubus, and we should talk about Green Day. But yeah.
Um. So, anyways, I want to read a little bit from this press release. The announcement of the Saviors Edition Deluxe. It reads, "Thought the Saviors' fun was over? Wrong!" In all caps. No signs of slowing down here. Enter Saviors Edition Deluxe, dropping May 23rd. Then it goes through the track list. Then they said, we also have two new vinyl variants for you. Pink with white splatter and clear with pink splatter. Both double LPs, double gatefold with some new artwork. It looks really nice, actually. But then they end it and they say, and there's even some new pieces. Oh, this is okay, and some new pieces of merch too. But then they end it with, "Can't wait to see your faces in the desert this weekend for Coachella. We've got a few more tricks up our sleeves the next few weeks. As always, stay tuned."
Mm-hmm.
So we end on a note of promise of there's some more things in the pipeline here. If you thought the Savior's era was over, you were wrong. Um, Connor, what does that make you think? What little tricks are up their sleeves? Do you think it's just a couple more singles, or I mean, obviously, in my fan brain, my head is spinning. I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
does this mean a tour? Are they gonna play fucking? Is this the Hella Tiny tour? Are we finally?
Yeah,
Are they gonna
yeah,
do? Are they gonna play at a club in my backyard? What's going
right.
on here?
Right, right, right. No, I do think you're spiraling a little bit there. My guess is there's going to be a music video
Yeah,
for one of these songs, and that's maybe some of the promotion. I don't know. I'd be surprised if there's much more, even though they're saying that. It's like, what else? Maybe I'm selling them short. And I kind of thought, like, hey, look out at the Coachella thing. I kind of thought even maybe some of the surprises or whatever you want to call it might be wrapped up in what some of what they've already done at Coachella, which
yeah.
we're going to talk about as well. Um, but I don't know. I'm always at that other end trying to even you out, trying to
Which
drag you back down to reality. But I don't,
which I appreciate.
until they start making that club in your backyard, Connor. And if they do, you got to tell me. I got to be the
I'll let
first
you'll
one
be
to
the
know.
first.
But
You'll be the first to know.
until they show up there and then they start building, until the plot of land has been sectioned out.
Yeah,
um
it's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for years. I'm waiting for them to
I I
start work
know,
on it.
I know, and the thing is, it could be any day now, but
Could be.
um, it's I'm starting to second guess it now.
We're gonna call it Gilman East.
Ooh, yeah, I
Right?
like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what else. I feel pretty good about a music video in there for sure. Very likely for Smash It Like Belushi. Maybe some cross promo with the fucking New Year's Rev
Oh yes, could be. Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know,
That would be cool. We get a
movie
music
that,
video with Fred Armisen
yeah. But other than
and
that,
Bobby
I'm
Lee.
I'm not dreaming too big. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
else there would be.
yeah. Well, to kind of keep it tempered, keep our expectations tempered.
Yeah,
Uh, I still secretly think it could be a tour. I don't know, or like a little mini tour or something. It doesn't. I mean, we'll see. We will have to wait and see here.
we will.
Um, but no, I mean it's fucking so exciting that they're putting out B-sides. And the weird thing, Connor, and I wanted to bring this up. We're going to talk about Smash Like Belushi a little bit here. Um, but my contacts, my people in the know,
Hmm.
have confirmed for me personally
Hmm.
that these songs were recorded just 6 months ago.
Oh, is that right?
So they are new songs. They
Hmm.
were not a part of the original Savior session. Um, and this is kind of a thing that bands are doing for deluxe editions now. Like Blink, they put out One More Time like a year and a half ago, and then they put out a deluxe edition last year. And pretty much all the songs on the deluxe edition were recorded months after One More Time came out. So how do you feel about them, bands kind of extending these eras as opposed to like just putting out a separate EP or a separate piece of work? Because I myself have mixed feelings on it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting because I feel like traditionally or historically, a deluxe edition is actually more of a peek inside the recording process, and so it would be like,
Yeah,
oh, these are the other songs that were we're kind of up for grabs. It's like this you sort of get like this behind the scenes look at what else could have been on the
yeah,
record, or how the album could have shaped up, and then like you sort of compare that to what you get, I feel like, and there's sort of this idea of, what are the hard decisions you have to make as a band, and like what's going to get cut, what's this album going to represent and say, and what's the album flow going to be like, and all those
yeah,
tangential things that really matter. So if a song like Smash It Like Belushi had been written and recorded and all that as they were making Saviors, that's way different than saying, oh well, this came out months after. um
totally.
so I feel like there's an aspect of um kind of like changing or considering what a deluxe edition of a record even is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess it's like I'm happier to get new songs than not, obviously, and I know that's true for you too. It sounds like sort of this idea of, well, it could have been an EP, which, for the record, is on the bingo card.
It is. I
I'm
know. I mean,
pretty sure I called that one. So
that's pretty much why I'm so upset. Is that way it would have been something we could have crossed off.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and who's to say? It's like maybe there's enough there that could always be one of the surprises that they're hinting at. Maybe there's going to be a Savior's EP or something, probably not, but maybe. But I guess ultimately, it doesn't bother me, and I don't feel like I've ever been too into deluxe editions, to be honest. Um, Barring Green Day, but I don't know. I guess where I'm sort of landing on it is a little bit of what I've already discussed. Just feeling like when I think of a deluxe edition, I think of it as sort of a window into what the creation process is like. But
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if we know that these songs were made afterwards, then the framing of it is different. So there's that.
Yeah, and I mean that's how I feel too. I don't exactly even know why it makes me feel differently, or I don't know. It's part of me, my fan brain, and like I guess cataloging the different eras of the band and stuff. It's like hard to be like, oh, this is still the Saviors era, but it was made after the Saviors session and after the like. So it's just a weird, like, I don't know, error in my brain that's like, that just like bugs me, I
Right,
guess.
right.
Like,
You're like trying to come in and be like the Green Day historian and be like, this
yes,
starts and stops here, and now all
exactly.
your all your neat little categories are thrown off.
Yeah, yeah. Which is why, like, my thought was like, well, what if I like, in my library, I just make it an EP,
Hmm.
which would be stupid, but I
It
might.
would be, yeah,
But I'll probably put together a playlist of all of the 5 songs, and just it'll be like a little quasi EP for me.
yeah.
But anyways, nobody probably cares about that. We're just happy we're getting new Green Day music, which I share that sentiment. And it was fucking thrilling to get a brand new Green Day song last week, just out of the blue.
Hmm.
They put out "Smash It Like Belushi," which is the first of the 5 new songs off of Savior's Edition Deluxe. Um, Connor, this is obviously a tribute to Jim Belushi, star of According to Jim, one of the world's most popular sitcoms.
Um, is that the Belushi? Is that right?
I mean,
Jim
what other Belushi
Jim
would it be?
Jim Belushi. Haven't heard of him. I don't know.
No, of course this is referencing Jim's brother John Belushi. No offense to Jim, but people call him the better Belushi.
I didn't know there was a other Belushi, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, you don't know the show According to Jim?
I don't. Maybe I've heard it. I
Oh, okay.
certainly
That
had
was
no
a
idea that it was Belushi related at all.
Yeah, so John Belushi, obviously, he was a famous comedian and was on SNL. Died young, unfortunately, very sad story. But he's very beloved to this day. He has a younger brother, Jim Belushi, who
Right.
is also an actor, comedy actor and stuff. He was on a sitcom. People don't really like him as much, so it's kind of a sad thing.
It's just the way he's not owed to be liked just because people like John Belushi.
No, 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 he's not. But it's a thing where he's like kind of living in his brother's shadow, or was for a year. I mean, obviously he had his own success, and he kind of he's redeemed himself a little bit. He was in the final season of Twin Peaks and turned in a good
Oh,
performance.
okay.
But you know, anyways, that's my joke that went over your head, and that's my explanation for the joke. No, obviously,
Funny,
Smash
funny.
It, Smash It Like Belushi is referencing John Belushi, which is fun. When I read the name of the song, I was like, this is kind of weird. What is this going to sound like? Um, Turns out it is it's a fun power pop track from Green Day. Connor, what are your thoughts? We just listened to it together. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that was your first time listening to it or not, but hit me with some of your feelings.
Yeah, it was not, but it almost was. My first time listening to it was yesterday. I listened to it one time with my wife in the car. So
Nice.
her and I, we listened to it for the same time together. I was like, "Hey, you want to listen to the new Green Day track?" She was like, "I guess." She's like, "I." She
Sure.
she was like, "I think I already know what it's gonna sound like." So she's well outside of the
Yeah,
hurricane.
yeah,
Let me
she
let
is.
me tell you.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, we listened to it, and I don't know. I do. It's kind of funny that this is a new song because I was ready to be like, oh, I see why it was cut. To
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
honest,
Hmm.
like because it does have B-side energy to it,
It does. Yeah,
and so it's like okay, so it's a well and true new song. Doesn't mean that it has to sound like this electrifying new thing, it's not, but I do feel like I'm kind of reworking my consideration of it a little bit in that way. Mostly my thoughts on it are like, because of the space that it occupies as this song on a deluxe edition. I think it's harmless, regardless of if it were incredible or horrible. It's one of those things where my brain can very easily just be like, well, this is kind of superfluous anyways. Like this is just a fun little extra thing. It's not on the album. Um, so I do think it's a little dumb, and I do think that the verses specifically are like it's almost too catchy. Like it does feel like just a little too sugary, sweet, straightforward a little bit. And that's the thing, is because then it takes this like terrific turn. I wish the whole song sounded like the bridge. The bridge of this song has such uh I don't know. To me, it kind of has this like energetic melancholy to it that makes me think of like a Menzinger song, where I'm like, oh man, like
yeah,
this song makes me like so fucking excited, but it's at the same time there's kind of like this dour sense to it. Um, I love about 40 seconds of the song, and the rest I'm kind of lukewarm on. That's having listened to it two times. That's sort of how I feel. I think the chorus is really catchy. I just think the verses are like too, and I'm just like, ugh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. It's very much in my bag. It's a fun like I like repetitive, annoying riffs like that. I think a little bit of what Billy Joe sings in the verses are it's kind of nonsense. A lot of it's nonsense, which is fine. It's a fun nonsensical rock and roll song. Um, not it like doesn't do some it doesn't do things that I find offensive. Like there are hand claps in the song, but the hand claps are very they're understated, and they're in my opinion they're fine. Very minor. Um and I know that's a big like criticism people have about foam and stuff. Obviously, we are foam defenders,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Proud foam defender.
proud foam defenders. Um, yeah, I like this song quite a bit. I have listened to it about a million times already, uh, and yeah, we'll continue to do so. I think you're right in that the bridge is like the best part of the song. And the Menzinger shout is good. Yeah, you know, I think that there is that kind of like melancholy melody there that sits with you.
Yeah, right. Because it's like it's not even what he's singing. Like it's not the content. It's
Yeah,
like it is the music that like
yeah,
carries
yeah,
that
yeah.
feeling. And
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, and the guitar solo while we're talking about the guitar
Yes.
solo here, I love, which is all kind of wrapped up in the bridge. But like that, uh, I don't know, like that's like such a good like that guitar solo specifically, that whole section. I'm like, if that was on Saviors,
Totally.
I'd love it. Like it feels like
Yeah.
that fits right in. So I don't know. There's kind of this pocket of the song that I think is phenomenal, and it's sort of surrounded by some stuff that I'm still coming to grips with. But like
Yeah.
at first listen, it does not grab me the same way. So that's kind of my take on it. But yes, it's like you're saying, it's inoffensive. It's like I was saying before, regardless of what the song is or isn't, I think just because it's like this extra thing, it really doesn't matter. It is completely harmless in that regard, and so I take it for what it is, and I think in some ways maybe you know it's easier for me to write off. I do think the song is fine, but yeah, it's also just a little dumb, and I think I think that's kind of intended. I think it's supposed to be a little dumb. So
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it could take any the place of any song on Saviors.
no way,
Oh,
not even Corvette Summer.
I
I
yeah,
went.
I was thinking to say that that's the kind of the closest comparison. And in a way, like Smash It Like Belushi is like less dumb than Corvette Summer, but Corvette Summer's strength is in that it's big, dumb, and fun. Like that's the whole
Mhm.
point of the song. Whereas like this song, I don't know, it doesn't. It's not as bombastic or hard hitting. So I think Corvette Summer is like that's an important moment on Saviors, even though it is a silly song. Where
Mhm.
and I don't think it
Mhm.
would. I don't think that this song would fill that same role in the same way. Um,
No, and I don't think that Mark Hamill would have made a cameo music video appearance either.
no, maybe Jim Belushi would have.
Jim Belushi, they would have had to have gotten Jim
Yes,
Belushi.
they would have had to get Jim Belushi, which would have been funny. Yeah. So no, I think you're right. I think it's I think we're pretty much in the same boat, even if you know, for me, it's just. I mean, I will. I I love almost every Green Day song, and that's just the honest truth. Um, what do you think the song's about, Connor?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure because I have not looked up the lyrics, so I'm only going off of the bits and pieces that I've got again from listening to it twice. Um, I don't know. I think of the whole "Smash It Like Belushi" thing as sort of this kind of this idea of um I think it's kind of another one of those vague sort of calls to action or rebellion or like destroying like these power structures and these people that like hold you back. And so I think it's like kind of this song about like, oh, you shouldn't give a fuck, and you need to smash through the things that are holding you back. And I think he's trying to kind of wrap it into this tongue-in-cheek sort of way, to kind of drive that home, I guess.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's a
that's where I'm at with it.
yeah, it's like a new way of saying who gives a fuck or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't even really know how Belushi smashes it. It's like smash it like Belushi. What is
well,
Belushi famous for smashing? You know?
so that's I was thinking about that. And I think maybe the answer, like, he's John Belushi was known for his physical comedy, and so he's like always smashing through tables and stuff. Uh, if you watch old SNLs, I watched that SNL movie, the like the drama recreation of like the first night of SNL premiering.
Mm,
Uh, and so it was actually pretty good. The guy who played John Belushi was good. But yeah, he's like very physical, smashing through walls and shit. Like, but then also like he's a big partier, and so smashed it in that way too. Like
hmm
got smashed or whatever. So you can look at it from a few different angles. Um, but yeah, I did want to read. We're gonna jump into Coachella in a minute. I wanted to read some thoughts from the anti-social media
We
on
are. Oh yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
yeah,
Okay.
just a quick little jump into that world. Um, this is from YouTube. We have Sam Ultra Flame 2043. They say, seeing all the love for this song proves to me that people don't hate Father of All because it's bad. They either hate the mixing or hate the album because it's cool to hate it. This is a song that fits perfectly next to Father of All, Stab You in the Heart, Sugar Youth, and Take the Money and Crawl. What do
You
you
know,
think about that?
that's a that's an interesting take, and I definitely agree with the first half of it, which is like, you know, uh that I think the reasons that people don't like foam are for reasons other than the songs themselves. 100% I'm on board with that sentiment. My thing is, I don't think that Smash It Like Belushi is a foam song. I don't listen to this and think like, oh yeah, this should go on foam. But I don't know. I guess uh as this commenter is bringing that idea up and I'm sitting here thinking about it, I don't want to say they're like off base either, because there's plenty of repetitive nonsense rock on foam.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like about it, which is dumb because I'm sitting here
Mm.
critiquing Smash It Like Belushi, and but I don't know. It's a bigger conversation than that. I guess I just that's not where my mind went, but I do see where this person's coming from. So I think it's fair. I think it's a fair point.
Yeah, I don't disagree either. I think the song could fit on foam if it were tweaked a little bit. I don't think it fits currently, but I think the same kind of style of rock is a feature on foam. But I also really feel like most songs on foam are just better than Smash It Like Belushi. That might
Mhm.
be controversial, but that's just how I feel.
I think
Uh,
so too, with the exception of "Stab You in the Heart." That's
yeah, my exception is Teenage Teenager. But
no way,
yeah,
no way. That's
yeah,
crazy, dude.
I know. Sorry.
Okay,
Uh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah,
Um, Thomas Gorman Jr. says the world is burning, and yet Green Day plays on. Pretty nice sentiment.
yes.
Okay, this is one I want to get your thoughts on. This is from Zeta Wiesel. Zeta says this song is like if Walking Contradiction and the Grouch had a child.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's I I
Are those the
kind of
last two songs you listened to? Is that why you're saying this?
yeah, right. Is that the boss baby take? I
Yeah.
kind of love this idea because it's like so far out there. Like being a Green Day fan all the time. Every time a new album or a new song comes out, you always have to like be ready to take the full force, the full brunt of like the fucking zombie horde of morons who are just like,
Yeah.
oh, this sounds just like Doki. Hey, hey, they went back and they made an album just like Doki, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh my god,
I know.
fucking hell. So, um, I kind of respect the sort of like bizarro bonkers. I don't hear what this person's saying at all, by the way. I don't, but I'll be damned if I don't respect it, because to pull those two songs
I
and
know.
say like this is what I hear from Smash It Like Belushi, Godspeed. Maybe they're right. I feel like maybe they're onto something that I'm not. I'm not even picking up on. They might be right
Yeah,
for all I know, but it's out there. Yeah.
it is. I mean, when I think about it hard enough, and if I squint, I
Mm,
can maybe think like, oh well, maybe the guitar solo is like kind of similar to the Grouch's guitar solo because it's like a melodic thing that is like mimicking the melody. I like that's like as far as I can get.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I some of these song comparisons are crazy. Let's see. We have Yukayo Life 14. Yukayo says, I was in class when I found out this dropped, and I flipped my shit, and my teacher yelled at me. Worth it, though.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You've Connor, I know you've been there. I don't know if specifically like being, but like that there have been moments where it's like other expectations are on you, something
Yeah.
quote unquote normal's happening, and then you realize something Green Day related is breaking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like you're suddenly whatever thing you're supposed to be focused on, fuck that thing. So
Yeah. I mean, this has definitely happened. I mean, I don't have any memories of school. I mean, it definitely happened in school. It had to. Well, the thing is, yeah, because I know where I was for the trilogy when O Love dropped. I know where I was when Know Your Enemy dropped. In a announcement of 21st Century Breakdown. I was not at school either of those times, but you know, whenever there was Green Day news, I would always drop whatever obligation I had, whatever thing I was
right,
doing. This
right.
happened more. This is embarrassingly enough happens more as an adult in a
Mm.
workplace environment, actually. Where I know when Bang Bang came out, when the
Yeah,
Revolution Radio single came out, I was working at a hotel and I
yeah.
fucking put my headphones in and listen. Like same thing when Father of All dropped. So yeah, I've done that plenty of times, and I just at that point I just don't care. I will take 2.5 minutes to myself and listen to this fucking song. I'm sorry. I can't. This is out of my control. I'm in
Hmm.
the eye of the storm.
Exactly.
You don't understand. You don't
It's
understand.
no, and most people don't. Most
No,
people don't. They are miles away. A
absolutely.
completely different perspective on the hurricane than you and I.
Yes, it's that's okay. It's okay if they don't understand. Next up, this is from Reddit. We have I underscore took underscore a underscore dump. So I took a
Got
dump.
it.
They say it's not a bad song. It's perfectly fine. It sounds a lot like Know Your Enemy. They're
Uh
talking about the drums, and it's not the same drum riff, but it's the boom boom. It's like that kind of thing that they're. I think that's what they're thinking of.
yeah. Um I don't know. I don't that one I don't get. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
hear it. It feels like maybe too like the verse guitar there's
yeah, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like that like I it's like yeah, maybe, but it's like the feeling that it elicits, like what those parts add up to, is completely different. And
Very, very different.
hey, I got my own hangups on "Know Your Enemy." Not a perfect song.
No,
Um,
yeah, yeah. We will. I'm excited for that episode
but
for you
no,
guys to.
I don't think Smash Like Belushi sounds like Know Your Enemy.
No,
Sorry.
I agree. Uh, K KDLRD says, of all the BJA songwriter personas, 80s rock scholar is one of my favorites.
Hmm. This take I like. It's a good acknowledgement of like the way that it's like obviously there's different eras of albums, but it's like the way that that kind of translates into eras of songwriting for Billy
Yeah,
Joe as well,
definitely.
which is very true. And you know, we had been saying not about this specifically, but when Unt came out, we were like, man, some of these songs are just straight up long shot songs,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like without any fucking hyperbole, like, and it's not even like they sound like long shot songs. It's like as as the listeners that we are, it's just like they are, you know, there's
Yeah,
essentially
yeah.
no difference. And I feel like this comment does a good job of kind of highlighting when you hear a certain kind of song, you're like, oh, you know, Billy's pulling from this, and it doesn't mean he's always stuck in one era. Like Billy can pull from different influences from himself, from
Sure.
other periods of rock and roll, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But I think this is a really strong comment because it's very true, and I think Billy kind of writes that way. I don't think he sets out to be like, oh, I'm gonna make a song like this, because I think he's much more sort of like free spirited than that when it comes to
Yeah, I
like the
think so.
creative process. But I think that he has a habit of knowingly or not of kind of like walking familiar paths, and that will lead to songs that feel reminiscent of others. So I agree with this one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good description of like this is one of the modes that Billy can slip into.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Last but not least, we have Flat Passenger 6. They say, this song sounds like summer and actually getting your dream girl. I love this. All of the serotonin. Fuck the haters.
Wrong. Completely wrong, because the song that they're describing is actually fuck, what was that fucking song called? What was the song that fucking they were playing on God damn it. What was that fucking song? Wasn't the album art like a hot dog or some shit? What was that stupid fucking song?
Oh, Pollyanna.
Pollyanna. Thank
Yeah.
you. The song that they're describing is Pollyanna. So sorry,
Yeah.
you lost the comment
You're not
section
wrong.
today, because the song, it's not Smash It Like Belushi, it's Pollyanna. Pollyanna was the song of the summer. Sorry.
That's very true. They yeah, yeah. Sorry, what's your face? No winners today. I don't think anyone wins. So we'll
This,
save that for
was,
the main
it was
episode.
unofficial. Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was an unofficial segment.
not officially
Connor, I,
recognized.
I want to jump over to Coachella a little bit before we wrap
Yeah,
things up.
let's
Um,
go over to Coachella.
let's go over to yes, just like Billy Joe did. Connor, I know that you sent me over. You had some concerns with the promo photo of Billy Joe, in the Coachella live stream, right?
Concerns.
We had
I
some
had
concerns with the way he
concerns.
looked, with the way he looked, specifically his teeth.
Oh shit. Oh yes. Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Well,
Yes.
that's not. That's this
Yes.
is one a little bit.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is the segue. But yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Yes. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
And I mean, it seems like you was it YouTube that seems like they chose not the most flattering picture of our boy Billy Joe. Made him look like a what was it, a beaver or something?
Yeah,
A little bit
according
beaverish.
to my wife, said he looked like a screaming squirrel.
A screaming squirrel, yes. And yeah, we actually you did a nice mock-up of a one-to-one comparison, Billy Joe and a screaming squirrel. Was it
That
is it a squirrel or what is that thing?
I don't know. It's some sort of rodent.
rodent.
It's
Yeah.
in the rodent fam. I don't know. Are
And they look
squirrels
pretty
rodents? I
similar.
don't know, but
And yeah, that's
yeah,
up on our social media, so you can check that out if you're
it is.
curious.
That's on our Twitter page. Yeah, I did not think he looked like a squirrel, but I did think it was weird. And really what I led with when I messaged you was like that picture, and I was like, we have known that Billy has had veneers
Yeah.
for a number of years now. That's not news to us. But this is the first picture I saw of him where I kind of felt like, what's up with his teeth? It was
Well,
too flat. What's
yeah,
going on?
in that picture, it looks like it doesn't look like he has individual teeth. It looks like he has one long tooth. Like,
Exactly.
like it does. There's just the picture is not. It doesn't. It's not good. It
Yeah.
doesn't look very
Is it
flattering.
just horrible quality? Like I don't understand what could be
Oh,
going on.
it is 100% the quality, or
Yeah.
he's wearing like a like Invisalign or something.
Yeah, right, right. It's like, does he have a fucking mouth guard on? Is he gonna
Yeah,
go play fucking flag football after this? Like what are
I
we
know.
what's I don't know. Um so yeah, no, we shouldn't get hung up on the photo. I love Billy Joe. I love
Oh
him.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Um
We love the guy.
but one of
Left.
one of the things, Connor, I don't know if this has really come up, but you and I, Connor, one of the things that we share, it's not just a lifelong love for Green Day.
Yeah.
It's not just the same first name. Connor, you and I share a specific snaggletooth.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
We're snaggle dudes.
there's not many reasons why that would be brought up on the podcast, and I'm not going to elaborate. If you don't know what I mean by a snaggletooth, you're outside of the hurricane, and I don't really care if you know or not.
Very true.
Um, the thing is that for most of Billy Joe's life, he shared a very similar snaggletooth. And so when the veneers era came on, it
The
felt like
Venera, if you will.
yeah, the veneera, yeah. It felt like we lost a bit of that kinship, or that sort of separated identity that that we had with one another. And I don't fault the guy for it. If I had the ability, trust me, there's a few things that I would probably fix and change about myself too. But it's funny because, like, even though we're just bringing this up now in relation to this photo, Connor, you and I have actually had many discussions about Billy
Yeah.
Joe's teeth and his veneers
Uh
and what
huh.
that means to us as poorly toothed men.
Yes. Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. But yes, that's what we are. I'll openly admit it. I like to think like interestingly toothed, man. Like, we're unique, and there's a certain charm to it.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, Billy was in the same boat as us for the longest time, and so it's hard not to feel a sense of betrayal when
Yeah, exactly.
suddenly he shows up and he has perfect teeth like everyone else uh,
Mhm.
outside of the hurricane. Um,
Yes,
you
thank
know,
you.
and so it's taken me a little while to process, but I've come to the conclusion that I really honestly genuinely think that it was just kind of a necessity for him at that point. He's a bit older than you and I.
Mhm.
He has had fucked up teeth for his entire career, various levels of fucked upness, uh, to the point where, like, I think it was just a health thing as opposed to an aesthetic thing.
You're probably right.
Obviously,
You're probably right. You think about how long he's been,
yeah,
wealthy and success. It's like you see some of those close-ups on Bullet in a Bible, and it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you are,
totally.
a fucking multimillionaire. Like, maybe do something
Yeah,
about
he did not have to wait until 2017 to fix his teeth if there wasn't a reason. So that's just my thought. He could have had a change of heart and been like, "Oh man, I just don't want these anymore." And that's fine too. You can do whatever you want with your body. Obviously, that's fine. you're just a traitor if it's willing.
Yeah.
But
No
anyways,
arguments here.
the band did end up playing Coachella, Connor. But before that, as you hinted at, Billy Joe made a surprise guest appearance on stage with the Go-Go's to play. What song did they play? Did you watch this?
I didn't watch it. I only saw from Billy's. Billy came back from with Instagram, which was another. People are like, "Oh my God, Billy's back!"
I don't even. I'm just like, what? Like, why is it a big deal to him too? He's like, "Oh, I'm back, guys."
Yeah, right.
Like, okay.
How many times are you gonna go back and forth, right?
I
Like,
know you were gone for like a month or something, like
yeah.
kind of, but you were still like I don't. It doesn't feel like you ever really left.
Yeah, no,
But
and like a lot of times, it seems like he is literally the one posting on the Green Day account because
yes,
it'll
yeah,
it'll just be like videos of him talking or
yeah,
whatever.
you're
So
right. You're right. I know.
it's like, did he go anywhere or? But no,
Yeah,
I hear you. I don't remember what the song was, but
it was Head Over Heels. I just looked it up.
Head Over Heels. Okay, gotcha. Pretty cool that
Yeah,
they played, and especially cool because it felt like it was sort of like a big um like it was a moment for like Billy to be a fan, and that's always sort of
that's exactly.
endearing to
Yes.
see. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I watched the video of it, and I mean the entire time he is just like a little kid. He's so excited to be there and
but
having
yeah,
so much fun.
yeah, no, he like it's crazy that like Billy is kind of still living out his rock and roll fan.
Yeah,
It like to him, it would sort of be like if our music just took off and we played on stage with Green Day.
yeah,
That's kind of what I think Billy was selling this as for him in a way. And
totally. Yeah,
maybe not that like stratospheric, but not like completely divorced from that either. Like
no, no,
it's
absolutely not.
really in that realm, and
It is.
that's that was definitely one of the most endearing things about it. Was it's like, yeah, it's cool, and sometimes it almost feels like Billy has this list, because we've seen him play with Joan Jett. We
And also like a decade ago or almost a decade ago he played on the Coachella stage with the Replacements. And that was a big exciting thing
Yes,
for him too.
yes, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like he kind of has like this Kill Bill list almost of
Yeah,
of artists that he wants to share the stage with,
definitely.
while he has the and you know what, I mean that at completely wholeheartedly and only with love in my heart. I think that he deserves it. I hope that he gets to play with everyone that little kid wanted to play with. So
Yeah. Hell
good for
yeah.
him. And it seems like by all accounts it was a good performance. So
It was. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. There were some issues with the sound, but like it didn't matter. It was just fun to watch him. Um, if only, maybe he'll get a chance to share a stage with Ozzy before the end with that
yeah,
final tour.
well, yeah, because I mean, Ozzy is another one who has announced uh many final shows over the
Yeah,
years.
it's like Billy with Instagram.
It really is. It really is. But he's pretty old now,
Yeah,
and
not doing great.
one of these times has to be the last.
Yep.
And this show happening in July in Birmingham, it's being billed as the final Black Sabbath performance. And you know what's even crazier is they got their original drummer Bill Ward to be playing with
Oh
them,
wow. Okay. Cool.
and that hasn't happened, I think, in at least 20 years or so.
Damn.
So it's a big deal because when they were doing their, now I'm talking about Black Sabbath, but when they were doing the End tour, that was back in 2016, which was billed as the final Black Sabbath tour. Bill Ward wasn't a part of that. I forget who
Oh,
the
okay.
drummer was, but it wasn't Bill Ward. Was not their original drummer. So it's like it is actually really a big deal that Bill Ward's playing with them for this final performance. I have looked into going to this show, Connor, and I've experienced something that I've never seen before in my life, which is there are no tickets.
Wow. Not even on resale
It,
sites?
exactly. Connor,
Wow.
you go on to StubHub, you go on to Ticketmaster, you go on to what's that other fucking one?
SeatGeek?
SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Yes, you go on to SeatGeek. Connor, it's not that the tickets are there and they cost $5,000 a piece. The craziest thing is the tickets are not there. They are not for sale.
Yeah, that's insane.
I didn't even know what to do. I couldn't
That's
even
really crazy.
fantasize about
Yeah.
spending like $8,000. I
Yeah.
couldn't even they are not for sale. I couldn't believe it. So
Yeah, that's nuts. Who knows if Billy could even get in at this point?
I don't know. I mean, maybe the only way it's going to happen is if he shares the stage. So we'll
I
see.
know. I know. I know.
But anyways, there's I'll
I mean,
there you go.
I know it's not a Black Sabbath song, but if him and Mike could share a stage with Ozzy and play Crazy Train, how full
Yes.
circle that would be a full circle moment
Yeah.
for them.
No, I hope they get that. I do.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Green Day they headlined Coachella for the very first time. I don't think they had played Coachella at all until now. Um, Connor,
Well, wait a
but
minute, because didn't you just say that? Oh, wait. Is it that they played during a replacement set, but they weren't on the Coachella bill? I'm not
so
sure how those two things match up.
no, just Billy Joe played with the band. He played guitar in the replacements for their set at Coachella. Green Day was not in that Green Day was not active in that
I
moment.
see, I see. So this really is the first time that Green Day as a band has been part of the Coachella bill
Yes,
and have
yes,
played as a band at Coachella.
correct. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Coachella obviously is, I mean, one of the most popular festivals ever, probably filled with people that are totally normal and don't get made fun of and are just cool kinds of people. Um,
As with any music festival.
as with most music festivals. Um, Connor, did you get a chance to watch any of the performance? Because
No.
they streamed it all live on YouTube.
Hmm.
And Green Day went on stage at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is no, sorry, 9 p.m. Pacific, so 12 a.m. Eastern. Um, and so I was actually, I work overnight, so I was lucky enough to be able to I watched the whole thing on my phone at work.
Nice, which is kind of exactly what we were talking about only mere
Yes,
moments ago.
yes, exactly. I dropped everything and I watched the whole
Yeah,
hour and 45-minute Green Day set.
nice.
I still worked
Yeah, no, I
while
mean,
watching
if
it.
anyone showed up or needed help, I'm sure you were
I
completely,
wasn't ignoring people,
yeah,
just kind of like saying, "Okay, all right, get the fuck out of here. I'm
yeah,
watching Green Day
yeah.
now."
Is what you need
Um,
another towel? Really, another
yeah,
one? Like, how many
fuck
fucking
off.
towels does this
I
guy need?
know. Come on, you're not that wet. Come on.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I watched the whole set. It was so a lot of these like live stream festival sets, um, they're like the mixing and production of like the live stream, it's not always great. Like the bands don't always sound great. Green Day has been a victim of this. Like they're a terrific live band, but sometimes just like the mix isn't locked in on these festival live streams for
Right.
whatever reason. Um, and there was like one little snafu with the bass drum here, but this honestly, I think this was one of Green Day's best festival performances that has been pro shot. It was very 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 good. They were really tight, really locked in. It was killer. And yeah, so I mean, I loved it. They're getting a lot of hype, a lot of good press. Um, uh, yeah, Connor, I'm just curious to know if you saw any any talk about Green Day's performance.
I didn't, and um, I do kind of feel like as a co-host of Green Dudes, I probably missed a trick there because especially Green Day's inaugural Coachella performance is pretty cool. It's definitely another feather in the cap of Green Day in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I don't know what the set was like. I don't I well except I'll tell you what. You know what I did see. And I forget if this was on. I don't know if this was specifically on Green Day's Instagram. I know that you shared this on your Instagram, but I had seen it prior. I think from another like fan account that I follow. Anyways, what I'm talking about here is the one thing I saw is that they must have played Jesus of Suburbia because when they're doing the Tales from Another Broken Home part, they change the lines to say running away from pain like the kids from Palestine. I believe that's
Yeah.
the line that they put it as. Um I had seen that uh you know kind of propped up, not to make it sound like performative, but you know how social media is. I had seen it sort of like lifted up as like, hey, this is like an important moment. This is something that Green Day's
Yeah.
doing in like this big, this kind of world stage in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, isn't it meaningful? Isn't it something that's that they're taking a moment to acknowledge this through their music. That's the only thing that I know, but it's not nothing. It was
No,
something.
it's definitely not. And I mean, that was part of the thing I was gonna bring up is yeah, Billy did that twice actually, both in JOS. Changed the lyric from Anaheim to the Middle East to from Palestine in the Middle East, and
Hmm.
then that lyric at the end as well. Um and so yeah, this is obviously an intentional thing. They're on a huge stage. I mean, it's a very like a lot of people are watching. And Green Day, Billy Joe has kind of voiced support for Palestine a few times now. This is definitely the biggest, most um, you know, most like the biggest platform, I guess he's done it on, which is very cool. And obviously, like you said, the internet saw that and raised it up, and so there's a lot of people that are like, oh wow, Green Day is actually pretty cool, like, oh, good for them. And so
Hmm.
so that's awesome to see. um so while that's happening, uh another thing kind of went viral where so Charlie XCX, Connor, she was on before Green Day. She played Coachella the same stage, same day before Green Day. Um, and she was spotted at an after party wearing a sash that read "Miss should be headliner."
Oh,
Yeah. So, she's saying that she should have headlined over Green Day. And before I get into the internet's response quickly, how do you feel about that, Connor? Was do you think she's in the right here? What do you think?
Connor, I think that even as co-host of a Green Day podcast, and even as we've acknowledged in this very conversation that we very much entrenched and biased and trapped within the eye of the storm, even acknowledging and barring all of that, I think she's fucking off her rocker. There is no world in which Charlie XCX is at any at any point of like uh equality within the level of like fandom or impact, or I mean, like, Green Day have had staying power and cultural relevancy on and off, of course, but like consistently enough throughout decades of their career now, which is insane. And Charlie XCX, listen, I'm outside of whatever that hurricane is, and I'm sure that Charlie XCX, she has her own hurricane, and there are shooters within that fucking eye.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
know for sure. But listen, there's no way. There's different categories of hurricanes too. I'll tell you that much.
Very
Okay.
true.
All right. Not all hurricanes are created equal, and whatever hurricane she is brewing would get completely swallowed up by the hurricane of Green Day. There's no contest. So I think she's a little bitter and delusional.
Yeah, no, I think that's accurate. No, I think you're right about that. I mean, so here's the honest truth, the facts of the matter. She is massive right now. She's huge. She's had a great year. Brat is like what that was the album of the summer. That was massive, bigger than we can even imagine. Okay, um, but that's one album. That's one album that was very popular for 1 year. Um, whereas and I, as much as we hate to admit it as Green Day fans, Green Day is a legacy act. It doesn't even matter. Saviors was very popular. It doesn't matter that it wasn't the big hit that Brat was. Green Day has the heft of 30 plus years of success. So yeah, no, there really is just there's no comparison. And part of like the Charlie XCX's aesthetic is it's whole this whole brat concept. So like I have
Mm-hmm.
no doubt that her wearing the sash is like part of that. Like, oh, I'm a
Yeah.
brat, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's totally fine. Like I think it's kind of even funny. I don't really think that she is upset, but obviously the internet sees these things, they take them and they run with them, and
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of stirred up a little bit of a discourse here, and it's funny. So I imagined if we had the same discourse during the foam era, and if it would have gone differently, because like based on Green Day's status in the public consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
um and especially after the Palestine thing went viral. Like
Mm-hmm.
Green Day is in people's good graces on the internet
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
It's not gonna last forever, folks. Believe me,
No.
we've been through this.
Enjoy it
Uh,
while you can. Yeah.
Enjoy it while you can. Because the vast majority of Twitter, Connor, is defending Green Day and saying no, I Green Day is bigger than Charlie XCX. This is not, you're not the headliner. Sorry, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so people, Beanie Pop says, imagine thinking Charlie XCX is bigger than Green Day. Uh, okay, this is at Horoscope. This is WHORE Scope 117 on Twitter. Um, says Green Day said free Palestine and called out Trump during their set. Meanwhile, all Charlie XCX did during her set was be a cokehead and use bad auto tune. Artists are supposed to stand up for something, not be petty losers.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get comments like that, and it's like, wait a minute, is this an excuse for like veiled misogyny? Like, it's so it's, um, I don't know. Two
Well, I think this
things.
is like I don't know. They're a stand account of some sort, but I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I feel like for people, really anyone like 25 and older, it's probably really easy to take pot shots at a Charlie XCX
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
ultimately she's kind of like this is gonna be like really dismissive, but it's sort of like the flavor of the month. It's like, okay, we talk about how long Green Day's been playing. Is Charlie XCX gonna be playing in 30 plus years from now, headlining Coachella? There's always the chance that yes, obviously. Um, But if I were gonna make a bingo card, or if I were gonna put any money down on it, I'd probably say no. It's like you're comparing something that has a lot of like, you know, immediate cultural cachet, but that burns fast. That burns hot,
Oh
but it
yeah.
burns fast. And so it's like I think two very different like generational schisms are kind of butting heads right now because uh if you're if you're younger than 25, not to come back to the whole Gen Z thing, but it's like, and it's not even a disparagement. It's more of an acknowledgement of like the way that like the larger machine of like cultural appreciation works, where after a certain threshold, you're kind of encouraged to disparage and dismiss things that are more relevant to younger people, and to say like, why don't younger people understand the things that I understand, and so on and so forth. It's like there really is like a larger machine behind that sort of encourages those kinds of opinions, and yet of course they come from a real place too. So I don't want to get lost in the weeds here, but all I'm trying to say is I think it's kind of like emblematic of probably a few different things that are kind of converging here. And I just don't think that there's going to be as many people in Charlie XCX's corner just by virtue of like the pools of people that are being pulled to either side in a way.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's also I yeah, I mean I also think that it's like I don't know. It is like a double standard for like pop stars, you know. Here's a tweet that I wanted to read. Let's see. Because let's see where is it? Fuck. Um yeah, no somebody says Rachel Brownbot says nothing about Charlie XCX has changed. Her album was literally called Brat. Y'all just aren't living that life. IDK. Um, and then there's also another one that says like, oh yeah, right here. This is from Riley. Riley says everyone wants divas back in pop music, but the second Charlie XCX acts cocky, these same people instantly want to humble her. I see, I see, I see.
Hmm. Yeah,
So I mean, there's a little
fair
bit of a
point.
double standard. Yeah, I mean, compare that to like I don't know, Billy Joe doing something on stage. Like the reaction is going to be different.
Hmm.
And then there's the other end of the table where this is from Tony. This is at Tony Hawk Truther, which is a great username. Um, they say, "Mark my words, Charlie XCX will regret pissing off us Green Day fans. Sincerely, punk rockers everywhere." P. P.S. A laptop is not an instrument.
Yeah, that's like the exact person I don't want to be lumped in with.
Yeah,
That's
I
like,
know. It's so
please, please,
I mean,
no.
I think when people get into taking pot shots about her like artistic merit, you know, I think that's like a line that's doesn't need to be crossed. Like I don't know, people don't like the auto tune or they or the that she plays to a backing track, but she's made real music and has connected to tons of people. I think that's there's something there that is important and real. So I don't know. I think it's you don't have to diminish her to like it's I think the sash was just a pretty harmless joke. I think even Billy Joe would laugh at it. You know, I don't think he
Yeah.
would take it seriously at all. So
Yeah, I
um
mean, like we've had Brat Summer, now it's Brat Spring. It's spring
now
break,
it's yes,
She's
exactly.
just
It's
having
Brett
Brat
Spring.
Spring. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Green Day should do maybe for the deluxe edition of Saviors they should change it to the green album cover with the font, you know, the Charlie XCX font.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good little thing.
Yeah.
Um, the other this is funny. This is the first thing that comes up when you search Charlie XCX on Twitter. This is from Drew Wheels. This is a video of like old people on a slot machine just obsessively tapping the thing on the slot machine. Um, and Drew says, me liking every single tweet trashing Charlie XCX after she tried sending her army of 29-year-old cokeheads after Green Day.
Good stuff.
Because I guess Charlie XCX's whole thing is that like she does coke and it's like fun.
I wouldn't know, man. I'm
I think that's like the whole
I'm
vibe.
too far in the yeah, maybe. Of course, yeah, there has been times throughout Green Day's history where it was like, hey, isn't meth pretty cool?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Green Day kind of had their own Brat Summer in the 90s.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it turned into a very cold and bitter Brat Winter.
Hmm.
So hopefully Charlie can get off the train before that happens,
Yeah,
before she has her iHeartRadio moment.
many many eras of Green Day and songwriting and lives to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, but that's all I got for today. Any other thoughts on Coachella or Smash It Like Belushi or Charlie XCX?
I was kind of just wondering, did they play any songs during their Coachella set that was surprising or any rarities? Because
So
like we
yeah,
also have been like, hey, bingo cards are they pulling anything out of their back pocket? What's going on there?
so it was a very standard set list. Nothing. I mean, it was a shortened set list for them too. It was just under 2 hours. So they didn't really pull anything off that was too crazy. The biggest thing was like One Eyed Bastard was cool, but they played that
Hmm.
every night on the tour, anyways. But and what kind of threw some people for a loop is because they posted the artwork in like all the Kerplunk style, the Kerplunk font and stuff about Coachella, and they're like, some fans were like, "Oh, does this mean they're going to play Kerplunk live in full at Coachella?"
Yeah.
Which is something Billy Joe has brought up before. He like wanting to just randomly play Kerplunk live at a festival. That's an
Hmm.
idea he's had that he's verbalized before. So
Right. He's floated that. Yeah.
he's cool to that. So it wasn't like totally random, but that didn't happen obviously. But Coachella is 2 weekends, so we still have one performance left. They play again on Saturday. So there is still all the possibility in the world that they change it up and maybe do something different for weekend 2. We'll see.
Wow. Yeah. Imagine, Connor.
Yep.
Imagine if we are discussing that next week.
I know. Next week we'll be discussing Green Day playing Kerplunk in their entirety at Coachella weekends 2. So just get ready.
All right. Well, hey, I got nothing else to add. Um, Charlie XCX, I wish you all the best. I'm
Yeah.
sorry you're not as big as Green Day. Just give it another 30 years.
Give it another 30 years. Don't let the fans bother you. They're mostly harmless. You can just laugh at them. Um, Folks, thank you for listening. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can go ahead and email us at greendudespod@gmail.com. Please give us a nice review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify podcasts. You can follow us on social media at Green Dudes Pod on both Twitter and Instagram. Go to the Twitter to see the Billy Joe
With the squirrel.
uh, squirrel comparison. It's pretty spot on. I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, next week we'll talk about something else. Just bet your bottom dollar. It probably will be Dookie, something Dookie related. Um, unless things happen, things can
Unless
always happen.
unless they play Kerplunk in full.
Unless
So I don't.
unless they play your plunk in full, we'll
Yeah.
see. TBD. Um, but thanks again for listening, and most importantly, folks, as always, stay
Stay
punk.
punk.
All right. Good work, buddy.
Totally.
All right. Now we're going to end the stream. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Toodaloo.